erase your criminal record and its devastating effect on your future. Warning: the Parole Board of Canada is proposing to scrap pardon and record suspensions forever. Is this fact or fiction? Watch this video and see what you must do immediately. An audit of our client files revealed the following shocking information. On average, our clients wait 9.3 years after they are eligible to apply for a pardon. Why do clients wait for so long? Why don't they apply for a record suspension as soon as they're eligible? Our survey shows the top 3 reasons our clients procrastinate are: it costs too much money. The processing time for a pardon, now called a record suspension, is too slow and cannot solve their immediate concerns. They saw no significant benefit in getting a record suspension. But when they did finally get their record suspension, when asked, did they regret waiting for so long to apply? Overwhelmingly, the answer is yes. They wish they had applied sooner. Does a record suspension really cost too much? Or does inaction cost you more? Studies show that without a record suspension, it will take you longer to get a job, and when you do get a job, you'll earn up to 40% less. Getting a job is also not easy. Background checks are increasingly becoming the norm. Criminal record? Don't bother applying for any of these jobs. By earning up to 40% less, being overlooked for promotions, and taking longer to find that next job, you'll quickly realize you cannot afford to not get a record suspension. For many, the cost of a record suspension is less than a week's wages. Not having a record suspension could also force you to take a job you don't want, or force you to stay in a dead-end job due to restrictions of having a criminal record. Is the Parole Board really scrapping pardons and record suspensions? There is misleading information circulating the internet. The good news is, the Parole Board is not scrapping pardons. However, on February 22, 2012, the Parole Board of Canada changed the name from pardon to record suspension. To pardon means to forgive. I believe they changed the name to record suspension because they are no longer in the business of forgiveness. Some serious offenders are now banned from applying. This also means they may have trouble getting employment. Does this put them at greater risk of reoffending? Sounds backwards to me. And you now have to wait longer to qualify for a record suspension, even though less than 4% of pardoned people ever reoffended under the old rules. That means we are punishing 96% of the applicants with tougher rules, even though less than 4% ever reoffended. The Parole Board fee increased from $150 to $631. Subsidies to the program have been cancelled. What is even more alarming is that the Parole Board has been given new powers to deny a record suspension at their discretion if they feel it would simply be offensive to give you a record suspension even if you meet the eligibility requirements. All of these new changes are because of the Harper government's support of US-style, tough-on-crime legislation, which studies have proven do not work. Just ask the state of Texas. It did not work for them, and they pleaded with the Canadian government, don't do it. Why did we start out with the idea that pardon and record suspensions are being scrapped? For 2 reasons. First, we wanted you to see the consequence of not getting a record suspension at the earliest opportunity. Too many of our clients procrastinate far too long before applying for a record suspension, and they regret it. We want to stop procrastination. We've learned we're not really in the record suspension business so much as we're in the overcoming procrastination business. Secondly, rules around getting a record suspension continue to get tougher. We had to figure out some way for you to view the alarming statistics about your financial future and alert you to the dangerous trends caused by tough-on-crime legislation. Pardons were once subsidized by the government because people with criminal records often did not have a job. Now that subsidies have been removed, many people with a criminal record put off getting a record suspension because of the high cost. The criminalization of poverty is the subject of another video, but the bottom line is that people with a criminal record who are desperate to get a job often think they cannot afford a record suspension. This is not true. There is hope. Start your record suspension immediately. What are you waiting for? Call today, 403-229-2774. Welcome to the Canadian Legal Resource Centre. Meet our senior staff. From left to right, Susan, Our owner Debbie holding the plaque, Jacqueline and Lila. Together they have over 45 years experience working with pardons and record suspensions. The Canadian Legal Resource Centre has won the Consumer Choice Awards for Business Excellence in the category of paralegal services for each of the past 11 years. We are members of the Chamber of Commerce and enjoy an A+ reputation with the Better Business Bureau. We celebrated 21 years in business in January 2016. We are also an RCMP accredited and certified fingerprinting agency. Start your record suspension immediately. What are you waiting for? Call today, 403-229-2774.
My name is Debbie Ward, President and owner of the Canadian Legal Resource Centre. We believe in forgiveness. We believe in you. Thank you.